From Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Cptv.
I am so sad. I just read about it this morning and I was heartbroken. I thought, gosh, this is like a landmark of San Luis Obispo.
The Fremont Theater in downtown SLO closed yesterday after over 70 years of service.
The lease for the building is up, and the Movie Experience Corporation is not renewing it.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Armando Garcia.
And I'm Katie Edmiston. Fremont employees said money has been tight, but were unaware they had to close the theater until yesterday.
They posted the news to Facebook as soon as they knew. Cptv reporter Olivia De Janeiro headed there last night to see how people were reacting to the news.
The doors of the Fremont Theater are closed, the screens are blank, and the seats are empty. After more than 70 years of service, people came out to catch one last glimpse of the historical landmark.
This is the theater I saw my first movie in. It was Jungle Book. I was like 6 years old.
And for some people, Fremont means family.
My uncle was the original projectionist here at the Fremont Theater, and so on Saturdays they would have double features, and I'd be here all Saturday morning. It was the greatest experience, and that's what I remember growing up. It was wonderful.
The theater opened its doors on Memorial Day 1942, and one Central Coast native remembers it like it was yesterday.
Limousines were driving up, and I was on the other side of the street with my bicycle, as I remember it, looking over the barrier, and Elizabeth Taylor and other stars. I remembered her because she was young like me.
The Fremont has left its mark in many people's memories, and some aren't ready to say goodbye.
Hopefully it'll stay and remain as beautiful as it is.
Yeah, it's a cool theater, and I'm going to be sad to see it go.
We love the theater, just not closing. It'll be open again.
The Big Fremont showed its last movie, The Impossible, yesterday at 7:30 p.m. Cptv, Olivia De Janeiro.
The theater is sending the rest of its film over to its sister location on Marsh. The Cal Poly City and Regional Planning Department is hosting the California Climate Action Planning Conference this week. It started yesterday and continues today. The sold-out conference focuses on the issues of climate change, and it discusses the next big challenges in the climate crisis. Working professionals and experts from all over the state are giving in-depth presentations and discussions on the topic.
We hope this will be a landmark event that will move this discipline forward and will really help contribute to California's effort to address the climate crisis.
The conference came just a week after President Obama spoke about climate change in his inaugural address. Governor Brown talked about the same issue in his State of the State address.
LinkedIn helped students get a head start on their professional portraits at Career Fair Wednesday and Thursday. Students were able to take professional LinkedIn photos at the Winter Career Fair this week. Students dropped by the photo booth in their business attire and used their smartphones to take a picture in front of a professional backdrop. After taking their photos, students uploaded them to their LinkedIn profile using LinkedIn's free app.
Some women will trade in their heels for combat boots. The Pentagon lifted the ban on allowing women to serve in frontline combat positions last week. Since 2001, more women have increasingly been deployed to Afghanistan, many of them ending up on the battlefield. But they haven't been getting credit for their work on the front lines because it wasn't allowed.
There are tons of women who are qualified for these positions, and it should be based on the qualifications of the individual, not just their gender. And so I think it's really a good step forward.
But this new policy won't affect women going through the ROTC program here at Cal Poly. They will continue their weekly training for combat situations. The only difference is now they'll have the option to use the skills they're taught. By lifting the ban the Defense Department created 11 years ago, they hope to take a step towards furthering gender equality in the military.
Developers, designers, and marketers gathered at Cal Poly to share ideas last weekend. Startup Weekend SLO is a chance for entrepreneurs to get feedback on their ideas. Participants have business and technical backgrounds. The event started Friday with initial pitches and wrapped up Sunday night with final presentations and judging.
I want to use what I've learned at school at Cal Poly and really apply that to developing a business around what I love doing.
Ideas proposed this weekend range from a website that would customize the ticket buying experience to an aerial videography company. The Just For You team won the competition. They proposed a ticket buying system that would allow fans to buy their tickets based on what they want at a game. This is the second year for the event.
Students can now view what classes will be available for spring quarter. Pass opened on Wednesday morning. Registration for spring quarter will be starting February 13th. Students who wish to use a priority will be able to do so from February 20th to February 22nd. All students can sign up during open enrollment on March 9th.
You may be able to spend spring break in the Big Apple this year. Alternative Breaks is a program put on by Student Life and Leadership that gives students a chance to make a difference during their school breaks. It started after a group of students decided they wanted to help out in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. This March, they're headed to New York City.
It's a really cool trip, not only with the people that you meet on the trip, but the people that you meet in the cities that we serve. It's truly life-changing conversations, stories, and it's also just fun to see other parts of America.
The fourth annual trip will be from March 24th through March 30th, which is 4 days of service and a full day of sightseeing. Openings are still available and you can apply online.
A downtown San Luis Obispo restaurant closed its doors Tuesday after 17 years in business. Mondeo Pronto was known for its homemade and diverse fusion cuisine. Management taped a sign to their door thanking customers for their patronage and support and asked their customers to continue to support local restaurants.
Cal Poly students are involved in an international effort to make it easy and safe for disabled people to roll on the sand. Cptv reporter Julianne Roth shows you how they're turning the crank on the project.
This project crosses state and national borders to build a beach-accessible wheelchair. A non-profit organization, Bridge to Sports, contacted the Cal Poly College of Engineering and a university in Germany to design the wheelchair. The engineers are also in coordination with the kinesiology department. A client of Bridge to Sports inspired the idea for the project.
His daughter is paraplegic, paralyzed from the waist down, and to get her onto the beach and actually get in the water, get in the sand, they pull her on a sled.
Hayes and Rory Aronson, another engineer who is working on the project, tested the beach wheelchairs that are available in Avila Beach. Hayes says the available beach wheelchairs are just a basic frame for a beach chair and are very difficult to move on your own. He says that they use the Avila wheelchair as an example of what not to do. The goal of the beach wheelchair is to give independence to disabled people. It will operate by a crank mechanism so that the user can move on their own. The wheelchair will be able to float, be transportable, hold up to 250 pounds, and will last at least 2 years without corrosion. The kinesiology consultant, Alexa Colburn, says that people with disabilities have every right to access the same things that we do.
And this wheelchair is kind of next level with being able to go in the water and stuff, so I'm pretty stoked about it, and I'm pretty stoked to get it out there.
This is Julianne Roth, Cptv.
The wheelchair is scheduled to hit the sand this spring.
Coming up next, Congress is debating a proposal that might affect millions of undocumented immigrants.
Find out if Slo's Barnes & Noble is closing.
And a nightclub fire in Brazil brings concerns to downtown Slo.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry?